When everybody talks about how overpopulated the world is, they've got this image of the world they live in where things just fly by. You travel a mile a minute. The world is so crowded. God, there's just people on top of you everywhere you look. We're supposed to walk. We evolved to walk. Our bodies were made to walk. We're all fat and dying because we don't walk. Our cars are killing us and the ecosystem. We're supposed to walk, and if we walk, it's not so fucking crowded. That field there, I believe that field belongs to a friend of mine. If you look at it, he was telling me about it. We were in a conversation. He's a small farmer, lives here in the county. One of my few really close friends in the county, anywhere. Says they planted that field and the rainstorm come up and they replanted it and the rainstorm come up again and they didn't think they were going to have anything worth having out of the whole thing from both efforts, but they were done for the year. But I bet you money that's my friend's field. And, you know, if you did that for a living, that'd be pretty disheartening. It's been a rough year. And so, you know, that's somebody's house. I'm not sure if anybody lives there or not. It's not too far from us. It's maybe a quarter. I don't know. It's not too far. I'm not good at distances and stuff. I just walk around. Don't even have a donkey stick. Just me and my walking stick. I got my walking stick when I go out walking. I take my walking stick. And I'm old and I'm rickety. Sometimes I get a little unbalanced. There's what used to be barns. See, we don't have, barns aren't real anymore. Barns were to keep livestock and hay, work stock and hay in. All the farms in America were worked by animals. Horses or cattle or donkeys or mules. And which it was depended partly on where you were and partly on how much money you had and a bunch of other things. But that's why barns were, because barns were where the animals lived in the winter and they're where the forage was kept. You can't let them graze and work them too, because grazing, it takes them all day to get enough nutrition to live through the day. So you harvest hay and you dry it, and that compacts, that means that there's less total pounds they have to eat to get so many total pounds of nutrition, because they don't have to eat all the water. And you had to keep it someplace, and then you had to keep them someplace, and that's what barns were for. And that's why we're killing them all, because machines don't need that stuff. I walked down, I didn't add it to this video, I walked down the other way. I might stick it in here, but cut this right here and put it. A few clips in it, because I got a post from a friend of mine that a bridge that we used had been washed out. So I walked down to look at it, and it was only moderately washed out, and they fixed it with a pile of rocks. I'll put it in this video. This is the spot where, see, the water comes down off that hill over there, and there's a little draw down there, but it comes down right here, and it's moving too fast, and so it just jumps out, and it runs across the road, and it carries away gravel. I mean, see, that hit pretty hard. If you'd have been standing there where that gravel's gone, you'd have had a hard time keeping your feet, okay? And that's just off this hill, this little draw. If you put enough life on that hill, enough various kinds of biomass, animals and plants, you can slow that way down. But that chewed down grass, that lets it roll across like a rocket. On mine, which are not much better than that, I have put a few plow furrows across them, you know, parallel to the slope, and those catch water. I've got those in some of my other videos. I call them keyline swales. That right there is Wild parsnip, that thing there makes these little tiny sticky seeds. If you get into one of these things after it's bloomed and like stop in a country road some night to pee and step off into the grass, and that's what the grass is, that will cover you with what seems like hundreds of thousands of little tiny sticky seeds, and you have to pick them off individually. There's that washout right there. This one here, we call this a Queen Anne's lace. I believe that to be a wild carrot. And I see there behind me some more of that wild parsnip. And I believe both of those have edible roots. I'm not saying you need to know that today, but it could come in handy. There's a lot of elderberry back in here. Elderberry is a roadside weed in America, except in Missouri. Except some of us also plant it for money crop. I've got a lot of it planted. I don't have money crops because I interface with the money economy as little as I'm able. I have it easy that way, and so I just planted them because things like them, and we can get medicine off of them, and you can eat the flowers and stuff like that. I mean, it just seems cool. Down there, you can see how this is the same creek that I walk here on my property. When I take you on creek walks on our place, that's this creek here, except we're off my place now. We're downhill, several hundred yards, and it's building up here. Of course, it's way up because of the storm. I mean, everything's up. The low water bridge is out and everything, but it's not raging high. This is just high water. You can see there, all that's meshed down. See, that's the same kind of plant as that, except you can see the water line right there where it came through and meshed all that down, all that come across the road. So when the amount of energy in the rain is increased, like say for instance, it rains more drops per cubic centimeter per unit of time, each drop has a certain amount of energy, so that all told, that means there's more energy in it. And there's more energy in our ecosystem. That's what climate change is energy in the ecosystem. And but so when that happens, that energy then has the power to tear soil away and to tear gravel away. Like that's what tore all that gravel away back there that I was showing. And I can't see this one. I'm just holding it up. I didn't change the thing so I could see me. I just thought you'd like to see. This is the old man walking. Anyway. While I was out here, a family passed by me in a old gasoline open go buggy. Everybody tells me people won't slow down, and they're all spending $10,000 and $12,000 to buy these go buggies that max out at 16 miles an hour. So I'm not sure I agree with you, but anyway, it's family, one of those things, and it makes noise. I can hear it coming for a mile and a half, and noise is energy. That's waste energy. It took the gasoline to make that noise. That's how come you can't make them 100% efficient, because everything that leaks off of them is energy, and that came out of the fuel. All of it came out of the fuel. Anyway, there's a dad. He's kind of overweight, and there's a mom. She's way overweight and wearing pink. And between them, there's two little girls, and the little girls are both looking at blue screens, and they're going about 15 miles an hour. They come down to look at the washed out bridge, same as I did, only I walked. And took me a lot longer. I mean, they've been here and gone, and they're back home watching TV now. They're not bored anymore like I am. Anyway, they think they saw more than I did, because they went here faster and they went farther. So they must have seen more. I think they didn't see as much as I did, because They didn't see this. That's that same creek again. See, it runs up that hill, and about a third of the way up that hill, just about where that Z mark of water and rocks is, if you can see it. I don't know if you can. That's where our place starts. And the creek doesn't come off our place from there, but the creek comes from behind this other home. It leaves our place back up there in the woods. And this is the same creek. Everything I've done that has taken energy out of this creek to slow it down, to reduce its destructiveness, still applies down here. I haven't been able to do enough. I haven't been able to get beavers or anything. Beavers would have to swim upstream through this to find my place. But it has helped, because if my land's not washing away as fast, then that water still is not containing that extra energy when it gets here. So I've slowed it, I've taken energy from it, I've harvested energy, and it lets land settle out on my place instead of going away. That weed patch there is a big place where people have been burning non-burnable trash. Y'all, I'm going to go. Goodbye. When there's more energy in the ecosystem, which there is because we can measure it as temperature, and when that is the case, the ecosystem will respond with higher rates of motion and larger moving volumes. That's what energy does. Moves speed and weight over distance. And this is the intersection of a couple of roads right near where I live. Are we enjoying it? I've been trying to explain this for a long time, and the underlying importance of it. It is impossible by the laws of thermodynamics for there to be more measurable temperature in the system without there being more energy in every single component unit of that system. According to the first law of thermodynamics, energy moves. Once it's temperature, that temperature energy is going into the wind as kinetic energy, as motion. It's going into the rain as kinetic energy, which lifts it up. And then there winds up being more of it up there so it can fall faster. My focus on energy isn't a silly old fuddy-duddy. I'm trying to get people to understand that we can't modify we can't find another way to live our current high energy life and save this world. We have to slow down. All of humanity has to slow down to a walking pace. All of our systems, all of our processes. At that speed, we can provide for everything we need. Not necessarily everything we want, but everything we need. And we can change our management of this world. See all that bare dirt out there with all those cows on it? That's stupid. That's madness. That's insanity. That patch of dirt there should be growing every possible sort of creature that could live on it, from bacteria to trees, funguses, everything. And they should be dotted around in complexity and space and diversity. And a few of those cows should live under it and manage it. This is insanity. This is what we can't do. And I know nobody wants to hear it, and I'm really sorry. But you can't make this work. You can do anything you want. You can't make this work. Bye. And to those of you who are vegans and who look at that patch full of cows and say, well, see there, it's because they're cows. No, it's not. If that patch was full of corn, if that patch was full of soybeans, if that patch was full of wheat, if that patch was full of hemp, it would be the same ecological disaster it is full of cows. That's not how this world works. We're not this stupid.
We can do this.